Hello, it's Mrs. Montanino, Mrs. Jennifer here. I wanted to do a follow-up video to the salt dough clay that we made the other day. I did make mine the night before, so I put it in a Ziploc bag just to keep it fresh. It does dry out fairly quickly, but you can do it a day ahead of time and it's fine. What I'd like to focus on is making a comfort object. So something that is special to you, whether it's a favorite animal, or maybe there's a special toy that you like, or a symbol from a hobby that you enjoy. Anything like that that kind of pops in your head, but something that makes you feel good when you look at it. I find during times like this, it helps to have something to look at that makes you feel good. So the first thing we're going to do is make a comfort object, and because it makes a lot of salt dough, I did put out some cookie cutters. Mine are a spring theme. I find comfort in flowers, so I thought those would work well, and I have a little rabbit and some other choices. But whatever you have around the house, any holiday themed cutters or just cutters in general, they do make nice ornaments. And if you want to do that, just kind of, I have some chopsticks from leftover takeout and some toothpicks just so I can poke a hole at the top on any one that I want to be an ornament. I also put out a rolling pin, so if you have one, that's great. If not, I'm sure you can find something around the house that you can use just to kind of roll the clay out a bit. And so we'll get started on some projects here. Okay, so I'm going to take the salt dough out of the bag and get started. I just have a butter knife here to kind of cut chunks off at a time as I need them. Oh, it does make quite a bit of dough, but it, you know what, it breaks apart pretty easily and it's still nice and soft. So the first thing I'm going to make is my comfort object, and those of you that know me know that I love dogs, so I am going to try to sculpt a little dog here out of my salt dough. I know a lot of you like video games, even if there's like a little character in one of your games that you like, or a certain image, anything like that would work. Just kind of have fun with it. And there's so much dough that this makes that if you have any brothers or sisters at home and you want to share it with them, I'm sure they would have fun with it too. Or anyone in your family for that matter. I hope everybody is doing well and finding some fun things to do around the house. I know we've got to be a little creative with our choices. I know a lot of you have pets, so it is kind of fun to make your pet out of the salt dough clay if that's something you want to do. I did take a cookie sheet. I lined it with some tin foil, and I have that off to the side, so as I make things I can place them on the cookie sheet as I go. If you want to, you can preheat the oven to 300 while you're working, so when you're all done sculpting you can just pop them right in the oven. They bake at 300 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes, just depending on how thick your pieces are. My dogs are outside playing right now because they were being a little noisy in the house. I did read too that you can freeze the salt dough, so if you make it and you really don't have time to do it right away and you want to freeze it for another time, that is okay. So I'm putting my comfort object, which is my dog that I made, on the cookie sheet. And next I'm going to try rolling out some dough for the cookie cutters to make some fun ornaments that we can paint. I'm going to start with a tulip because spring is here officially. It's starting to get nicer outside. Oh, and if I want that to be an ornament that I can hang up, I'm just gonna put a hole right here in the center, and then that way after it bakes I could put a piece of ribbon or something through it. This dough is pretty easy to use. It's nice and soft. It's like baking cookies. I don't know how many of you have baked cookies before, but or watched your mom or somebody in the family bake cookies, but that's kind of what it's like. I got a running bunny here. Okay, I'm gonna make another rabbit shape. So far I made my comfort object, and it's going to be about 6 ornaments, and then I'm going to make some beads. And I do have some salt dough left over that I will just pop in the freezer for another time or another project. Okay, so if you want to make a necklace or a bracelet, you can just kind of roll out the balls any size that you want, and then take your chopstick or toothpick and just kind of poke a hole so it goes all the way through. That way we can put a string through it, so it kind of looks like that, and then you have a hole. That's how you can make a bead. You can make them different shapes and sizes and paint them and make a fun necklace. So I'll do a couple more of those, and then I will get ready to put this in the oven, and then we can paint them. Okay, so that's good for now. Make sort of a pattern out of it. So I'm going to add those to my baking sheet. Got some room up here, and I'm going to get ready to put these in the oven and bake them for about 40 minutes. Okay, they are ready to go into the oven, so I'm just going to place them in the oven. We're going to place those in the oven at 300 for about 40 minutes. Okay, we're going to take the salt dough out of the oven. It has a nice sparkle to it after it bakes. And we're going to just let it cool for some time, just until it doesn't feel hot anymore before we start to paint it.